Good afternoon. I hope you've had a wonderful day. My name is Ann Kiguta, and as you know, it's a major news day today because two big events will be happening. One, of course, is the budget, which is expected to be read in Parliament at 3 p.m. This afternoon, and also the kickoff of the World Cup. Here at Citizen TV News, we've got all these major events lined up for you. And let's start with the over R1 trillion budget. Francis Gashuri is standing by live from Parliament. Over to you, Gashuri.
A very good afternoon to you. Indeed, a big day for the people of the Republic of Kenya and the East African community in general, because the budget is being read today. The 2014-2015 budget estimates are being tabled formally by Henry Rotich, the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the National Treasury. It is the second budget for the government or the Jubilee administration since it came into power after the 2013 general election. And of course, you remember during the Madaraka Day address, President Uhuru Kenyatta terming his second financial year as the year of action. And so basically we'll be looking at the budget that will be tabled by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury to see whether actually it will be reflecting specific issues or aspects or elements that will signify that indeed this is the second year of action, or the year of action for the government. And of course, a 1.8 trillion shillings budget, the largest in Kenya's history. And of course, no much fanfare, unlike what we've previously witnessed, because even here we are at Parliament buildings, no much activity compared to previous years, where security was tight, the president was expected to attend, and basically this year and last year, it's a fairly low-key activity here at the Parliament buildings. And the Cabinet Secretary, remember, in the new system of government, we have separation of power. And so the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature are independent arms of the same government. And so members of the executive are not members of Parliament, as used to happen before the 2010 period where the Constitution was enacted. So the Minister or the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury is a stranger in the House this afternoon, but he will be delivering the budget speech with leave of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi. I'm not alone. My colleague Patrick Igunza is here from the business desk. And of course, to try and help us understand the nitty-gritties of the budget that will be tabled this afternoon by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury. A very quick one before we take it back to you. And of course, we'll be here for a live coverage of the activities here at the Parliament buildings. Quickly, Igunza, what should our viewers expect in terms of the budget estimates or the budget that will be read by the Minister in charge of National Treasury?
Thank you very much, Gashuri. Indeed, as you put it, it's a 1.8 trillion shillings budget, the biggest for the country yet. And so basically what we expect from the Cabinet Secretary is a breakdown on how he plans to actually fund this particular budget. Remember, we also have the aspect of getting money from revenues that the government will be collecting through the revenue agency, the Kenya Revenue Authority, and also some form of borrowing which should come from both the domestic market and also the international community. And so what we expect is Honorable Rotich to actually tell us how he will be funding. Remember, the national government has been allocated an estimated 1.5 or 6 thereabout trillion shillings, with 226 or slightly above that going to the county government. And so we are very optimistic, and we know that there is an outline on how this is actually going to be achieved. But of great importance is to see whether the ordinary wananchi will get some tax breaks. Remember, it has been quite a rough year for a majority of the Kenyans because of the VAT Act that was implemented sometime last year, and we wait to see whether there are any measures that will help make life easier for these Kenyans and also other players in various economic sectors.
We've seen various allocations to ministries and departments, and of course constitutional bodies. In a nutshell, are we likely to see a situation where the government, now that says this is the year of action, to allocate more funds to infrastructure, energy, cost of living, by especially matters of food security and so on and so forth? So basically, do we expect what we call a mwananchi budget?
Actually, it will be upon the Cabinet Secretary to actually lay bare the plans that the government has. But if we may look at some of the highlights of this budget, you'll realize that the economic growth is expected to grow by about 5.8% for this next year, 2014-2015, and it will be augmented by investment in energy, transport, and agriculture. Just the other day, we had the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Agriculture, Felix Koskei, saying that underfunding is one of their greatest challenges, and so we expect the government to shine the spotlight on those key economic sectors and see how best to perhaps fund them to see whether they will support the desired growth.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Igunza. We will be here with my colleague Igunza to try and break down the figures and the specific issues that Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury, Henry Rotich, will be saying in his budget speech. And of course, we expect him to walk from the Treasury building right across here with his usual briefcase, the ceremonial budget briefcase. No much drama except that very important picture, and we'll be bringing you live coverage from the Parliament buildings. That's all for now. Back to you, but keep it Citizen TV because we are here with more details thereafter.
Gunza Gashuri, thanks very much. And of course, you can watch that live coverage here on Citizen TV. If you'll be going about your business, catch us online, www.citizentv.co.ke, where we will, of course, be streaming that event for you. And you can follow all our news updates on @Citizen TV Kenya and @Citizen TV News. Let's move to the beautiful game that kicks off tonight. The 2014 World Cup starts this evening when hosts Brazil take on Croatia at the Arena Corinthians in the country's largest city, Sao Paulo. 32 teams with 736 footballers will over 30 days battle for the crown of world champions. European champions Spain go into the tournament as the defending champions. However, they have a difficult task of winning the title again, as Brazil are the overwhelming favorites to win the crown on home soil. Urged on by home fans, the Brazilians will be seeking to win their 6th World Cup crown. Other pre-tournament favorites are Argentina, Germany, Italy, Spain, with many picking Belgium as the dark horses that could spring a surprise this year. The live broadcast of the opening ceremony starts at 9 p.m. Kenyan time, with the Brazil versus Croatia match starting at 11 p.m. And you also do want to keep it Citizen TV because we will be kicking off our World Cup coverage with Viva Brazil right after this bulletin. All right, back home now, and 8 people were injured after a grenade was hurled at customers standing outside a fast food kiosk in Garissa town on Wednesday evening. Police in the town have since launched a manhunt for the perpetrators of that grenade attack in the area that saw 2 people killed and several injured in the past 3 weeks.
The aftermath of a late-night grenade attack on unsuspecting Garissa town residents who are trying to make last-minute purchases along Gamia Road at a fast food vendor.
Niliona ulipuko umelipuka hapa nje. Alafu pia kuna mama bibi yangu ndiye anausia chips hapa. Na watu wamerusha kitu, ni vijana walikuwa 3 lakini hatu kwa ajili masura yao. Walikuwa usiku hatu kujua vile walienda, lakini walikimbilia kwa barabara nyingine kidogo hapa.
According to the eyewitness, 8 people were injured, with 3 having to be admitted in hospital, suffering from shrapnel injuries, with many of them suffering damages to the limbs.
Wawili walikuwa wameumia vibaya. Wao wengine wako wameumia vibaya sana, walipata majeraha ya miguu na mkono, lakini wametoka hospitali.
The Wednesday night attack comes hot on the heels of a number of attacks in the area in the past 3 weeks that have since resulted in the deaths of 2 people.
The government of Kenya, we have elected for 5 years, we have trusted with our votes, we have given all of our confidence, should have safeguarded us, should have told us about our security and our peace is questionable.
While the security officers say they will institute other measures to curb the increasing cases of attacks, residents here continue to live in fear following the renewed attacks, with many businesses forced to close as early as 7 p.m. Alex Kobasu for Citizen Live at 1.
It's time for me to take a short break, but as you can see on the screen adjacent to me, our stage is set, and very soon we'll be launching for you Viva Brazil as we kick off our World Cup coverage right here on Citizen TV. You do not want to miss it. We're taking a few messages and then we're back after this.